AI is generating text, images, and even music these days. But how's Python revolutionizing the world of generative AI? Well, Python has always been known for its simplicity and versatility. Owing to its wide range of libraries and frameworks, Python is becoming a more popular programming language for generative AI. So we decided to bring to you this one-of-a-kind exhaustive video on Python for generative AI, where we cover everything from an introduction to the OpenAI GPT API, creating Flask-based ChatGPT, text-to-image apps, etc. Hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. Hello all, welcome to this session where we'll be learning regarding Python for generative AI. Python is a very well-known programming language, and also generative AI is a booming technology. How do we combine both of these and what all we cover in this session? Let's check out in our agenda. First, we will talk about overview of Python. Next, we will discuss what is generative AI, where it is used in the introduction part. Later, we will be developing a ChatGPT app using Flask library in Python. Using the same Flask library, we'll also see text-to-image conversion. Like you will be giving a text information. With that help, the ChatGPT will be giving you back an image which you have asked for, right? Text-to-image. This particular demonstration will be done. Then we will talk about LangChain Apps. LangChain is a library available in Python. Why we use it, where we use it. We will also see the application of the same in the case study of LangChain. Right? Why wait? Let's quickly start this session. Now, let's start with the first topic, overview of Python. When you hear the name Python, you know the various applications of it. First and foremost thing, it is a high-level programming language which is very unique compared to other high-level programming language. Why? Almost it will use English-like statements in order to execute the code. It's very easy to learn as a beginner this particular Python language. Now, why do we use Python in generative AI? It's not about generative AI. It's about Python is already having a well-supported set of libraries which is already in use since years with respect to domains like data science, machine learning, natural language processing, deep learning, etc. Now, artificial intelligence and generative AI is grabbing the libraries which we have already in Python. Other programming languages are also used, but I could say Python is a versatile programming language which makes life easy for the people working in this technological domain. After understanding an overview of Python, let's quickly hop on to the next topic. Introduction to generative AI applications, which is the core concept which we have to learn. Generative AI refers to algorithms which enables machines to produce content that is not only new and original but also includes a reflective data, and it will be always trained according to the requirement. Right? Generative AI deals with a lot of models. What does these models include? GANs, that is Generative Adversarial Networks, VAEs, variational autoencoders, and transformer-based models such as ChatGPT, right? What do we do with this generative AI applications? It's very important in order to train the algorithm or the machine in order to keep it updated. The more you interact with this, the more it gets trained. That's how simple it will work. And generative AI helps you to generate your own models. How you want to train that particular model, you can train it accordingly. Just like simple example, how does the scientist train the robots? Each robot will do its own different work, right? Hope you would have seen the requirements are different. The catering of requirements is different. Hence, the models will be trained accordingly with the help of generative AI. Yes, it includes a lot of other technologies, deep learning, neural networks, etc. But still, generative AI is also a base of it. What is the significance? Creativity boost. It creates enhances processes by providing very good content ideas, new content ideas, the new way to approach the problem. Efficiency. It is giving a helping hand to human beings in order to be more efficient. The more good you use, the more productive you will be. Automates the content creation or saving time is very much important. It's an important resource now. It aids to this particular saving time resource. Then personalization. It generates particular personalized content as per your requirement, as per the prompts you give to ChatGPT. That's how it works, right? So it will cater various applications for the same. This is the overall picture of generative AI applications. Now, let's talk about the next concept, development environment setup. How do we do this? What is it all about? You have to have a platform in order to work with. You need to have a basement in order to build a building, right? So let's learn how do we build this particular basement. So what does this thing consist? It consists of few steps in order to set up a particular environment. It is not dealing with much higher softwares or something from moon and stars. It's very simple. You have to go to Python official website and download the latest version. For now, it is 3.12. You can download that Python into your local system and you can execute this via command prompt, right? First step, we have to open command prompt, which we have in our local system. And then we'll have to navigate to the location where the Python is installed. Hope everyone are having a clear idea of how do you work with Linux and Unix. At least basic commands like cd, change directory, mk, make directory. So only these two commands are mostly used in this complete session. I'm not going deep into advanced level of Unix, Linux and all. If you want to work with a command prompt, you have to just use cd and mk command and you can make directory or change directory. Simple as that. If you are using Windows, you can use command prompt or PowerShell. For Mac OS or Linux, you can use terminal. This is the platform you need in order to work with. After navigating to the location where the Python has been installed, you can install all the libraries using pip command, right? So pip install is a basic command and you can change the libraries you want accordingly. First, we will talk about NumPy. NumPy is very well known amongst the domain called data science. Why? The first thing is NumPy will always cater in order to help the mathematical calculations, also working with high-level data structures and give you the complete access to the functionalities and arithmetic and logics. That is why data science is dealt with lot of data, numbers and other elements. We use NumPy for the same. Then we talk about Flask. When you hear the word Flask, it is a library which is related to Python where it is web-based framework. You can create web application using this particular Flask framework. That is the major help of using Flask. The next one is Streamlit or Streamlit. This particular library deals with visualizing the models created. Then you have Torch Vision and Torch Audio. Basically, this library caters computer vision models. You can work with the model creation, you can view the model and also you can add certain multimedia to the model created, right? You have this Torch library in order to cater computer vision projects, models, etc. You have Transformers next. Transformers will always help you in classification, text summarization, many other aspects, again dealing with data. And majorly, we use all these libraries in machine learning, artificial intelligence, NLP, natural language processing, and deep learning, also computer vision. This is the applications of where this particular library will be used. Using pip install, we are always installing all this library single-handedly, not in mass library installation. Every library will be installed along with the execution output command stating it has been installed. It will show you it is installed. Now, still you don't trust. How do you check it? Verification of the installation is very important because Since we are working with machines, sometimes it might help you to have a better vision when you verify. If you don't verify, if the installation is crashed, you never know. It will affect your project. So better verify once you install. It's very simple. In order to verify as well, you can open command prompt and type Python _version. It will ensure it returns the installed Python version. What is this particular version you are working with? Next, you verify the installation of the libraries. For that, you have to just go open Python interactive shell, type Python, and then import every library which you have already installed. If it is imported properly without any error, then it is installed properly, right? So this is the overall development environment setup idea which you have to have and which you have to create in order to do coding, in order to create certain applications or work with a project. Now, we are in the command prompt. In theoretical aspect, we have known about various libraries in Python, that is NumPy, Flask, Streamlit, Torch, Transformers. Let's install the same libraries with the help of command prompt. First, if you could see, it's in a general path. It's in my personal path, but yeah, it is in C drive. Now, in my personal laptop, the location of the Python is being fetched. For that, I have to use cd command, change directory, paste the location where your Python has been installed, and then press enter. When you do this, the command prompt goes to this particular folder. Let's start with the first command, pip install NumPy. Now, since I've already been working with Python a lot many times for many projects, you will get an output. Just wait and watch. I'll click on enter. It might take some time. It will try to analyze what's happening, what they are trying to install, and requirement already satisfied. This is what you'll get the output. That means NumPy is already installed in your particular system because we were already working. And there is a warning message you could notice. If you want to upgrade the particular library which you are using, you can go for the version mentioned. I am currently using 21.2.3. It is suggesting upgrade for 24.1.2. Then what is the command for the same is also been mentioned here. You can use that command. We have now installed NumPy, which was already existing. It is given the message. If in case it's a new installation of library, how it will display? Let's try with other libraries as well. Pip install Flask. I'm giving enter. Let's wait for the results. Again, if you could see, it states Flask is already present, that is satisfied. Again, you have a warning regards to the version. I have almost installed all the libraries, but let me check for the next one. Streamlit. If you could see how it is downloading the Streamlit library. If you are trying to install the library which is not in the current local system in your Python, this is how it will start loading. If it is already existing, this is the message which you got for NumPy and Flask. When you try to install Streamlit library which is not present in your Python, this is how it starts downloading, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes at least to complete the download depending upon your system configuration. Likewise, you can install all the libraries required for you into your system, right? So, I have given two examples. One, how it will download the library which is not in your system. If you already have downloaded the library, how the message will pop up. That is, requirement is already satisfied. That means it is already installed, right? So, this is how you import your libraries in Python. Now, in order to verify is your particular library is installed or not, First, it will try to prompt you that it is already existing. If it is not, it will start downloading as mentioned. Now again, in order to verify that, you have to go to Python interpreter. So I'll click onto the same particular location, type Python here. When you click enter, it will go to the Python interface where you can execute your code. Now what you do is you try to import NumPy. When you try to give this particular instruction to the Python prompt inside the command prompt which we have logged in, it will try to enter or import this NumPy library which is already existing. When you type the statement import NumPy, if your NumPy is present, it will not throw up any error. It will look just like this. This indicates your NumPy is there in the Python library folder. This is how you verify the libraries which is already installed before using it. Or else if you mention in your code as well, it will throw up an error if it is not installed before. Make sure you install the libraries, then use it in your code. This was a simple demonstration of how you install and verify if the library is present in your Python with the help of command prompt. Now let's understand introduction to OpenAI GPT API. How this particular thing works and what is OpenAI first of all. What is OpenAI? It's a company where it will cater in order to work with chatbots, generative AI applications, different kinds of models, LLMs, etc. Basically, it is dealing complete artificial intelligence domain which is booming nowadays. OpenAI has a platform where you can generate the API keys and you can integrate those into your applications. API features. What are the features it will cater for? Text generation, completion, and conversation capabilities. So, talking about text generation, it is always dealing with providing a new text which is not in your imagination with one small question. Say, I want a poetry on so and so. It will give you a complete poetry where it is not plagiarized. It has been trained in that level, it can think about writing poetry. It has lots and lots of data behind how it is dealing with that, what is to be categorized. There comes classification, summarization, and many other machine learning and data science models, artificial intelligence models, which is giving you the answer prior. Next, completion. If you give a prompt in an incomplete way, it will try to complete that. If you give with a spelling mistake, it will correct your spelling and ask you back, was this your idea? Do you want to search so and so thing? It will question you back in an interactive conversational way. What we do with ChatGPT? It's the conversation. How it will answer us with the help of already available data. It has been trained on and it is updated every time you talk to it. That's how the model works with. So these are the few features we have. Next comes to fine-tuning and customization for specific task. Say you are building certain module which has been integrated to your application. You are using OpenAI platform. You can generate your own model. It can cater to your own set of questions. Say for example, chatbots in some or the other shopping websites or jewelry shop websites. It will try to ask you what you want. There are lots of chatbots which will address and also will help certain percentage of customer care services without human intervention, which can be done with the help of machine. 100% it will be solved. Other aspects it cannot. A very good example for this is Swiggy, right? You can give a set of questions which is already present. Where is my order? Delivery guy is not moving. So when you put this, my order is getting delayed, it will give a set of answer which is already there. What is the current status? Still, if you are not convinced by the bot answer, you can go for a agent talk. You can talk to a human being where they'll interact, they'll call the delivery guy and ask what is the situation and update you. Something like that might happen. Before introducing your particular chat to directly to the agent, they'll try to solve with the help of bot. That means we are trying to reduce the work which is put upon humans. We are using the technology in order to address the same. This is a best example for the feature which is currently in use in the apps which we use in our day-to-day life. How do we get start with this API? We have to just log on to OpenAI website, create your account, sign up, or if you already have an account, sign in, log in, generate a API key and keep it. Why you have to generate a API key? I'll let you. After $5 of content, you have to pay in order to improvise your API key. In order to improvise your API key usage, right? You want to know more about what is OpenAI, how does it help for GPT API, everything, you can just go to the official API documentation and understand more about this. Now, let's understand how do we generate a OpenAI API key. For that, you have to go to Google, type OpenAI login. Once you click on login, if you have already logged in, you will get two options. One is to go to ChatGPT, another one is for API. You click on API. Once you click on the API, this is how your OpenAPI platform look like. You could see a menu here towards your left stating API keys. If you click on that, it will launch API keys. Before that, I would like to tell you, I was talking about the GPT models, right? So these are the models available for now. GPT 3.5, Turbo, 0125, 1106 and 16K. These are the models. You can select the model and you can work on. Let's come back to API keys. I'll click on the API keys. This is how the API keys generation look like. And if you want to create a new API key, click on create new secret key and you can name that particular one. I'm naming it as demo. You can also give the restrictions if you have to control certain things. It can be a read-only, restricted or all, just like the share option you have in your Google Drive for your Google content, right? So create a secret key and it will generate and display the secret key there. You can copy and paste it in one particular notepad so that you can use it again and again. It is taking certain time to generate the key. Once it is done, it will display and you will also have an option called copy for it. Here we are. It states API key is generated and you can copy the key. You can press as done. See, you have to save the secret key somewhere because it won't be viewed again due to security reasons. That's why you have to keep it discreet and noted in a notepad separately. You cannot get it back again. If you want to, again you have to create a new API. You cannot copy this complete API key again. The created API key is listed in the list here. Again, you have the options to edit the key. You can just change the name and permission, nothing else. You don't have access to again copy the complete key and you can also delete the existing key. This is how your API key page look like in OpenAI platform. Hope you are clear how to generate these and save it in a place and use it for your coding. Now, let's talk about Flask ChatGPT App. We are integrating OpenAI source to our application. That is the main agenda of it. Let's understand more about this application. How do we work with this and also look at the demo for the same. What is the basic setup we need is as simple as that which is mentioned before. You have to have Python installed in your system and all the libraries mentioned to be installed in your system. That's the basic ideology for all the demonstration which is carried in this session hereafter. The components we need is Flask for web framework. As I mentioned, we use Flask of Python library for web framework. and then OpenAI GPT API for generating responses. A simple logic, we are taking a API key of OpenAPI, putting that in your Python code, and then we are trying to execute the same. First, we will check how this particular code look like and what are the in detail steps in our Google Colab. Note, I am not executing this in Google Colab, I am executing this in command prompt. But for a better clarity, I am using the online coding platform, that is Google Colab, in order to have a good interactive and bifurcation between the text and the code, right? Google Colab is a very good place in order to work, in order to have a good Python content on. Let's check out the code and understand what all does it do in order to create ChatGPT app using Flask library in Python. Now, here we are on the Google Colab. First step we have to is set up the environment. As I told, we will activate the virtual environment of Python. What is this Python MVENV? Let's understand one by one. Python invokes the Python interpreter, which is already installed in your system. Then MVENV. This option always tells Python to run VENV module as a script. This module is used in order to create virtual environments on that. That is why we try to invoke this. Next, again you have VENV. This is the name of the directory where the virtual environment will be created, and it is not mandatory that you have to keep the second VENV as it is. You can change this to be ABCD also, or you can also put it as virtual environment. It is not mandatory that you have to use the same name, but with M you have to use VENV. This is mandatory, and the second VENV is optional. You can change the name accordingly. Naming convention can be changed according to the requirements. Next, after doing that setup, we create the Flask application. As I told you, we are using only 2 commands of Unix since we are working in command prompt. First is make directory, mkdir. That is, we are creating a folder with the help of command prompt. That's it. There is nothing great that's happening. Creating a new folder. The folder name is GPT Chat App, and you are trying to change the path, change directory CD to that particular location. And remember, wherever you have installed your Python software, that folder itself, these things to be created. We have to first navigate to that particular Python location. Then only we can create a new folder. Else there will be an execution problem and path issues. After doing the folder creation, we will have to create code file. First is a Python code file, which I would like to name it as app.py, application.py. Again, this is not mandatory. You have to have app. You can name it accordingly, but you have to remember what you have named. While you are executing this, you have to remember the exact Python file name, including the cases. It is case sensitive. Okay. First, we will import the Flask elements. First is Flask library. Next, request, JSONify, and render template. Then we will import the requests and also import time. These are the libraries we'll try to import, which is available in Python to our particular code. We will try to use request and render template, also the timing, in order to have the conversation between the system, that is ChatGPT, which we are trying to create, and our questions. Then we will initialize the Flask application. This is the Flask application initialization syntax. We will try to give a OpenAPI key. This is a secured key which you should not share with anybody else, or else they can utilize and you have to pay the bill for the same. Better you keep the API keys very discreet. This is a random API key. It's a sample API key, or else you can just put in your code, enter your API key here. This is far better rather than giving people your original API. Once you put this API key, you will next define the root of the home page, where it has to interact from. Obviously, you cannot show this backend code to the user. You have to have a front end. You have a front end that is called index.html. There comes the second code file. First one is having app.py core Python file. Next, it has to be integrated to the front end, that is index.html. Right? We will render the particular HTML template. That is why we'll be using render template library. Okay? We have usage of these libraries everywhere. Then we'll define the root for chat endpoint, which accepts the post request. Post request is nothing but what message you put to the GPT and what it has to respond back. And this complete thing will happen with the help of JSON. Then you get the response from GPT-3. And remember, there's lots of GPT models. Which one you are using, you have to have the knowledge about it. You have GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K. You also have just GPT 3.5 Turbo. You have many kinds of model. The current model which we use, you have to mention it here. And you also have to carry the input given by the user from the front end to the back end with the help of this messages. The data should be transferred from the front end to back end. What is the maximum limit of the response is 150 letters, characters. It's not words. Okay, it is very minimal. If you want to make it more, obviously you can make it 300. Again, it is according to the requirement you are catering for. Then, you have to attempt to get a response from API, which tries in case if it fails. Now comes the word of error handling. The code which is not having error handling capacity is not a worthy code. Simple as that. If something goes wrong, first you have to let the system give you the message that something is wrong, not directly land to a error page. It should be interactive and it should tell the user whatever you have entered is wrong or something has happened, what has happened. This particular responses should always be there. For example, I'm giving you possibilities. It's not that every coder will be knowing everything what they have to do, right? But still, there are few standard error handling techniques when you work. You have status code 200. When this particular 200 status code comes, 404 error comes, 429 comes, right? How do you handle that? What is the error? What is the particular response you give? For example, if it is for 200, we can return the message to the user. Rather than going to a random wrong page, you have to give a message. An error occurred while processing the response from OpenAPI. That means if your GPT is not connected properly, it is not able to give response, then you have to just not push that particular code to a error page. You have to send an error message. You have to tell this. Next, you have 429. Here, we are trying to request OpenAI if failed status. Again, we are trying to re-attempt. How many times? Back off, retrying attempts are 2. We will try to do 2 time attempts and then we will go for sleep. That means we are putting this particular system into sleep that it is not able to solve. The more you work with it, the more limit exceeding will happen. And 429 also deals with if your particular OpenAI is out of limits. It is not having any limits left. It is exceeded. You have to buy new. You have to put your billing again. It will say you have exceeded your current quota. Please check your plan and billing details. So that's how you have to try to give error message to the user so that they understand something is happening. We have to go and address, because nobody will go to backend and debug what is the error, right? In the front end itself, you have to show what is happening. So this is sample example of error handling. Then if any other error comes more than this, there are 2 errors which I have listed. If anything else comes up, you have to just give the status code directly. 404 error or internet disconnectivity error, anything might come, An error occurred while communicating with OpenAI is a standard default error message you can send. If you don't know what you have to do, just put there is an error, please decode. Then comes run the Flask application. This is the main method which we create for this code, and the code execution starts from the main method here. Now comes the second part of it, the front end, which we had discussed already there, and what are the complete content of that. We'll have a quick overview. That is index.html. Here you can see people who know HTML will always know this. Doctype HTML, you have head, you have HTML, lang, English, and meta character set is always there. You have style for your particular page, and you also have the body. Here you have a chat box, you have a text box, you want a button. It's a simple thing. You have to have a text box where the user will put their input. Click on send button so that it will interact with the ChatGPT. In order to display the ChatGPT message, you have to have a label or again a text box. So that's how it will work. It's a simple JavaScript which is being used in order to have this interactivity, that is fetching the information from the input and putting that to GPT and taking the response from the GPT and putting back on the front end to view for user. So this is the simple fundamental function that happens in this script section. How do you run this? Just you have to be in the location where you have created the folder, that is GPT Chat App, right? I'll just go back and just give you an overview. GPT Chat App, that is the location where the command prompt should be pointing out. Then you can execute Python app.py. When you do this, you will be able to access a browser where it is loading in this particular address. What is this address? Why only 5000? Why not 4000? You might question. As you all know, HTTP 127.0.0.1 will always deal with local hosting. When you do this local hosting, you have separate ports for every library or every kind of execution you do. 5000 is the port number which is allocated in every local system for Flask library of Python. Any Flask web framework code execution you do, it will launch on the Chrome with this particular address. Hope you had a complete detailed view of how this particular application will work. A quick recap, you have to install Python and necessary libraries. Then you have to create a main Python code file, that is app.py. Then client side, that is front end interface, you have to make it index.html. Again, this is as per your requirement. This is a common name which we keep. That's why I've used the same. You can create a simple HTML interface to interact with the ChatGPT. Then you can run the application and check for the output, right? So now that we have understood what is the code at the back end, front end and every aspect, let's execute this code and check for the output. Before going to the demonstration of Flask ChatGPT app, let's understand the folder structure. I am here in the location where my Python is being installed. Since we've already worked on, you could see many folders here. We are trying to create GPT chat app, right? According to our steps, we've already done it. So if you go to this particular folder, you can find two different elements. One is templates, another one is app. What is template? Template is actually the index file which we had discussed, the HTML file. App is a main program. Once you execute this, the back file will be created. If the execution is successful or not successful, doesn't matter. Once you run this through interpreter, it will generate automatically. That's why it is present. If you're executing for the first time, this will not be there. Okay. Now, let's hop on to the command prompt and check how does we work with this. Here we are in the command prompt and in the location where our file is. Am I right? No, I'm actually wrong. We are in the location where Python is. Now we have to enter to the folder created. What is the folder we created? We have to change directory to that particular folder. GPT_chat_app. This is the folder name which we generated, right? Let me enter to that. See, now we are in that folder. How do we execute the steps which I mentioned? We have to type Python and we have to mention the app.py or the name which you have given to your main Python file. You have to mention that and click on enter. Once you click enter, after executing this app.py file, this is how the output looks like. Are we in the right output screen? No, it is just indicating that it has been executing, it is running. The location is we have to go to http 127.0.0.1 5000, the port number. Let's quickly hop on to that location on our search engine. Any browser you can use, you can go to this particular port number. Let's hop on to that. Once you go, click on http, the same ID where it has been launched across, you will find the interface. Now, what you have to do? You have to communicate with the GPT. So, I'll press hi and click on send button. It will say, hello, how can I assist you today? The next question which I ask is, how are you? When you do this, you send this and just a computer program, so I don't have any feelings, but thanks for asking, how can I help you? So this is how it is trying to interact with the human being. If you try to give something which is not existing, still your chat GPT is not trained to that level. It is a normal basic model. I'll say, where do you live? I'll click on the send button. You have exceeded your current quota. Please check your plan and billing details. It will not throw up this errors. Really, if your limits are exceeded, right, that is when it will show this error. It will try to do that error handling which I have already mentioned. So, for the third conversation itself, how did we get this message? You might be having this particular doubt. The thing is, OpenAPI API key is not very much free to everything. You only have access for $5 worth of conversation that can happen, API key that can generate. That is how you can converse. After it exceeds $5, it will try to ask you to fill up and select the plan and do the billing, right? The payment should be done for the same. So, this is just a simple example. You can enhance, create, you can buy a paid version and start building the projects and help your small scale business if you own any, in order to have a private chatbot so customers can interact without any actual agent service required. Customer service, you need not take it. You can use the bots there on your website, right? This is a simple idea. This is how the execution looks like. By now, we have understood how does ChatGPT, while using Flask, how we can execute, what are the code required and how the outputs look like. Now that we have understood and also saw the demonstration, how does a ChatGPT app work when you create with the help of Flask library using Python. Now, let's check out the next topic. Using the same Flask, how do you use text-to-image application? Here, the simple idea is text-to-image generation involves creating images for textual description using AI models. You will give a simple description. Here, we are not focusing on description. We are trying to get a image for the word which we give. As I told, cat, dog, any animal or what you want to fetch for. Significance of this particular application: enhances creativity and design processes, useful in various fields like advertising, entertainment and virtual environment. Say you want to get an image, you can give a description: cat which is sitting on a mat or dog which is sitting on a bed. You can give certain description, you will get images in certain way. Or sketched cat image, drawing of a cow. So you can give a certain description to AI, it will generate back the output for you. How do you implement this particular text to image app? First is we build a web application that converts text description into images. Again, if you want to build a web framework, it is about Flask. Then you use OpenAI. Again, HTML, CSS for the front end, that is very much mandatory and basic. What are the prerequisites you want for this? First is Python to be installed in your system. Next, you have to have a required library, that is Flask and OpenAPI, and you have to have a API key from OpenAI. This is the basic requirements it should have in order to start off with the development of this application. Now, let's understand what is the code for this particular app. What is that purpose and what all we use here. Then later we will execute this. Hope we are clear. Now let's quickly hop on to Google Colab, understand more about this application. Here we are on the Google Colab. First step, if your Python is not installed, install your Python. If already exists, ignore. Simple as that. Again, create virtual environment. We already had the description about each and every element of this particular code statement. Then we activate the virtual environment by using this particular code here. Next comes installation of Flask and OpenAI. It's very important to install the libraries which is necessary for your coding. First place, we'll be using pip command to install Flask OpenAI. It's a simple statement here, the code line. You can just execute the same. Then we have to create the project directory. Again, nothing but the new folder. It is named as Flask _text _2 image. If you want to put some other name, it's left to you. You have to go to the folder which you have created. Then only you can start creating your Python code file and HTML code file. First thing is main Python application code file, which is again named as app.py. It gives you a proper signification. It will not mix with the previous one because the folder is different. So again, we have to import the necessary libraries. We are initializing the Flask application. You have to have a OpenAPI key. You can replace this your OpenAPI key into your original OpenAPI key. How do we do that? Then you have routing which has to go, that is index.html. In this HTML file, you have all the designs related, front end related, that has been fetched, and you will be routed with the help of function called generate image as a post method. We will be using JSON. Post method means the response which you get from ChatGPT, right? Either it might be your user input also acts as a post, and also the response will be also post. Use OpenAPI to generate image based according to the prompt which has been received. The size should be only this much and the number of images generated at once should be one only. Then the prompt which is given by the user will be pushed to OpenAPI. It will get a response and then that particular image will be displayed. If you want a detailed explanation of what does every line means, I have it for you. You can just read it. What are the different elements we use and why do we use, right? Next, you have to create this HTML interface, that is the front end. Again, you have to have a text box, a button, and where you print your prompt, and then you will put that inside the GPT. It will fetch the output on the same screen, right? You have to have a simple text box and a button. That's it. If you want to do more styling, you can more welcome use CSS files and you can do it. This is a general basic setup or the front end which you need. And you have a script. Again, you have a function called generate image. Here what happens? It will fetch the information, the prompt from the user, and then it will put that particular prompt to OpenAPI. Once you get the response from OpenAPI, it will push back the response on the front end. This is the code for the same, right? It's just an interaction code between the front end and back end. We'll be using JavaScript. This is about the HTML file we'll be using. Again, if you want to run this code, you have to type Python app.py and you have to be on the same folder where you have created at the start. If you go somewhere, navigate to some other location on your command prompt, and if you try to give, it will not execute. Let's have a quick recap. Here, first is we'll be installing Python. Next, the library is called Flask and OpenAI. Later, we'll create a Flask application, that is app.py. Then we will also try to include the functionality of converting text to image, that whatever the text we have given, related image will be provided. So we have to root for that, and you have to have a simple HTML interface in order to have the connection between the user and the system. Then you have to access and run the code, start the Flask server, and again you have to go to the same location, that is the same IP address which ends with the port number 5000. So this will be your particular location address. It will run there. You can execute the same. Now let's quickly check how does this work in our demo. Now here we are in the Python location of the local system. We are trying to execute Flask text to image app. If you try to go to that particular folder, you could find the same folder structure. It is having a main Python code, and then you also have index in the template, right? Once it is executed, backfile has been created. So that is why they are here. This is the structure. Now what we have to do, go to command prompt, type this particular location and try to execute with the help of Python app.py command. So I am copying this location completely, going to command prompt and changing the directory to the copied location. Now we are in the folder Flask text to image application, which has been generated. We straight away try to execute this with the help of Python app.py command. Once we do that, we will click on enter. This is where the Flask server is been running. It is active now. We have to go to the location which is mentioned right here with 5000 port number. Let's hop on to that particular location. Once you come to this location, you could see the basic HTML design which we have made, and it's our time now to give certain description regarding the image and try to generate the image. I'll give just one line of description. If you want, you can give in detail description so that the GPT will give you a right perfect required image as per the command. I'll try to give mountain with skylights. Okay, so let's mention color also. That will be good. So mountain with green skylights. This is my description of an image which I need. I'll try to generate. Okay, this is how we got the image from the GPT. It has given the lights which is in green color on the sky, and mountains are right here. So this is how the descriptions will be taken care of. The more precise description you give, the more precise image you will get as an output. So this is how text to image application will work with the help of Flask OpenAI in your Python, which also help to generate the images for digital content creators or any kind of creative people who work in that particular field. Let's understand how does LangChain Apps work. What is LangChain in Python? Overview of LangChain. LangChain always streamlines the development process of the application and utilize the LLMs by offering a extensible architecture. Generally, simple words, LangChain is a library of Python just like NumPy and others. Okay, it supports wide range of use cases. Generally, we use LangChain in order to create assistants, chatbots, and many complex NLP tasks and data analysis aspect. This is the application of using LangChain. Then the framework is built with highly customizable interiors of the code, and then we also develop to tailor specific needs, and we also integrate the same tailored code or module to the external data sources using API keys. This is the simple work which we do with the help of LangChain app. It is just that we are using this library in order to create good model which acts to be a chatbot or personal assistant, or any other requirement will be catered with the help of LangChain application. Now, in order to understand more about this, we will try to know the case study for this LangChain app. Let's explore more. Again, I'm going towards Google Colab. Let's understand the code, and later part we execute that in the command prompt. Here you have to note one thing. We are not going to the Google Chrome where the IP address ends with 5000. We are executing this in the command prompt itself. This is one of the differentiation between what we have already seen and what we're going to see. Let's hop on to Google Colab. Now, here we are on the Google Colab. What we are trying to understand, what is the case study? First thing, personalized story generator. That means it will try to take certain inputs from the user and try to generate the story for the user. This project will take inputs, might be the character names, settings and theme of the story. It will generate unique story every time you try to communicate with ChatGPT 3.5. Why I'm stuck with 3.5? There is 4 and 4.0 that's coming, right? But when you go to OpenAPI, it's still at the 3.5 version itself. It is having 16K, 1105. There is some other codes that's going on. It's just a turbo GPT 3.5. There are many kinds of models. But for now, it is 3.5 in OpenAPI platform. Not talking about the ChatGPT 4 or 4.0. Okay? Don't get confused with that. Steps in order to create this project, very simple. Set up the environment, collect the user inputs, generate story using AI model and display the generated story. Simple as that. First, when we talk about the installing of libraries, here we have to install OpenAI LangChain. It is related to OpenAI, also related to Python. So, pip install OpenAI and LangChain. Both of these libraries we have to install. Then, in order to collect the input from the user, you have to have two different Python files here. So, that is the differentiation. Previous demonstration, we had only one Python file, one front-end file. We used to work with the code. Here, you have two files. What does this do? First one says user input.py. That means we are trying to welcome the user and take the input from the user. Here you could see, welcome to the personalized story generator. You have entered the main character's name. Please enter that. Then enter the setting of the story and enter the theme of the story. For example, adventure, mystery, horror, anything as such. Return the character, setting, theme to the particular file called storygenerator.py. You are taking input with the help of one Python file and you are trying to give that particular collected input to another Python file, that is storygenerator.py. From LangChain, import chain prompt text model, then user input. As I told you, user input file, you have to take all the user input, get user inputs. What is collected? Character name, settings and theme. This is collected. You have to take this as an input and import that into this particular story generator Python file. This is the function where you can just create certain story according to the inputs given by the particular user. Then you will have a prompt. You will have to work with the text model. As I told you, this is GPT 3.5 Turbo here, and here comes your OpenAPI key. You have to put your secret key here and then you have to execute this particular main block. It will try to give you the story generated here in the print statement. Generated story is so and so. A paragraph of a story will be displayed for you. So, this is how the main block will get executed, and these are the commands or the codes which we use. Every code is having a self-explanatory comment that you can read and understand once again if you don't follow it here. Okay, this particular learning material or code is always provided. No worries, you can go back, rework on this again. Then what do you do? In order to display the story, you have to execute the file. How do you execute? Story generated.py. Here, why are we not using Python? We have to use Python, right? It should be Python story generator.py. That's how it will execute. Simple as that. You will have a quick recap here. First is environment setup, that is you are having Python in your system. You have two libraries, that is OpenAI and LangChain. Then you have to have your own API key, which is discrete. You have to create main script, that is story generator, and you also have to create a subscript, that is user inputs. Then you have to generate the story functionality, that is OpenAI's ChatGPT. You have to use that and you have to give them the character name, setting, theme, etc. It will develop the story, and if you execute, it will give back the story which is already developed. As simple as that. Hope this is very clear for you. Now let's see the demonstration. What is the output and how it will work? We are trying to execute personalized story generator which we have already discussed, that we are using the library called LangChain. Here it is, you have two different Python files. One is story generator, one is user input. It is already explained. User input is used to take the input from the user, and story generator is the main app. You should not execute Python user underscore input.py. You have to execute story underscore generator.py. That's how you will get the output screen. This is kind of special execution that every output is seen on the command prompt itself. We need not navigate between any other locations for output. What is this PyCache? If you click on this folder, after you compile your code, this is actually generated. Compiled Python file will be generated. So that is why it is here. Now, let's quickly hop on to our command prompt and try to execute this particular code file. In order to do that, first what we need is we have to copy this location where it is actually situated, the folder of your app. Now, we are on the command prompt. We are changing the directory and pasting the location which we copied and clicking on enter. We are in the folder called personalized story generator. What we have to do, we'll try to execute Python story underscore generator dot py. Once you click on enter, this is how it starts executing. Welcome to the personalized story generator, and I'll type a name of the main character as Alice, and it will ask setting of the story where it has to happen. I can say enchanted forest. I'll give the location, visualization idea for the GPT. I'll click on enter. It should be a mystery one or adventure one or horror one, whatever you can mention that. I'll mention as adventure story. I'll click on enter. See, the story is generated in this form. You can read the story pausing the screen, but yeah, it will include the main character, the setting of the story, also what kind of story, what is the theme of the story. It will try to give you the complete paragraph which you can use it for your requirement. This is how a story generator will work. Using LangChain, you can create much more applications. This is of one basic example. Hope this is clear for you. We have executed the code. We saw the output. How does the story will be generated with the help of GPT, which we have connected with the help of the API key. Here we are in the summary part of the session. Let's quickly have a recap. What did we study in the session? First, we had an overview of Python, how Python is related to various other domains and also for generative AI. We started discussing regarding what is generative AI, the significance of it and various applications. What are the potential of this generative AI in various fields. Later, we understood the development environment fields which has been required, the setup we need to make in order to start off with coding or working with generative AI using Python. Then, we had an overview of how do we create a GPT sample basic one with the help of Flask and OpenAI with a demonstration, followed by text to image app demo. Again, we are using Flask and OpenAI there. Later, we talked about LangChain App, which is one of the library available in Python. We also had a practical example case study, creating a personalized story generator by using LangChain library of Python and combining that with OpenAI and connecting via API key. How do we integrate all of these and try to generate a personalized story generator? Hope this session was helpful for you. Let's meet up in the next video. Thank you. Happy learning.